All right, buckle up. Here's a stat that'll make your jaw hit the floor. 95% of Bitcoin holders are sitting on digital gold and have no idea what they actually own. We're talking millions of people hodling an asset they fundamentally misunderstand. That's like owning prime Manhattan real estate but thinking you just bought a fancy Monopoly board. And here's the kicker. This confusion is costing people massive gains, sleep, and financial freedom. So if you've ever panicked during a dip, wondered if Bitcoin is too late, or got wrecked by some Twitter guru's hot take, you're about to get the truth bomb. Wall Street praise you never hear. Quick heads up. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Do your own research, folks, and consult a pro before making moves. So what's the truth that 95% miss? It's this. Bitcoin isn't just digital money or the next tech stock. It's a fundamental rewrite of how value, power, and freedom work in the 21st century. And most holders, they're treating it like a lottery ticket instead of the revolution it actually is. Let's break down the misconceptions keeping you in that clueless 95% and flip you into the enlightened 5% who actually get it. Bitcoin is just another investment asset. Wrong. Dead wrong. See, when Americans think investment, they think stocks, bonds, maybe some real estate if they're fancy. You buy, you wait, number goes up, you sell, you're rich, right? That's the Wall Street playbook. The same game where the house always wins and your dollars slowly bleed value like a punctured tire. But Bitcoin is the exit sign from that rigged casino. It's not competing with Apple stock or your 401k, it's competing with the dollar itself. It's hard-coded scarcity versus infinite money printing. It's you owning your wealth versus trusting Jerome Powell and his money printer to not destroy your purchasing power while you sleep. Think of it this way. Stocks are renting a penthouse in Wall Street's high-rise. Bitcoin is owning your own ranch, off-grid, where nobody can touch you. That's the difference most people completely miss. Now you might be thinking, okay, hotshot, if Bitcoin's so special, why does it crash harder than my portfolio during every Fed meeting? Great question, and that brings us to misconception number 2. The price volatility means Bitcoin is risky and unstable. Look, I get it. You bought at 60,000, it dropped to 30,000, and suddenly you're sweating like you just bet the mortgage on red. But here's what the 5% understand. Bitcoin's volatility isn't a bug. It's proof the game is working exactly as designed. Bitcoin is a nearly 17-year-old technology disrupting a multi-trillion-dollar system that's existed for centuries. Of course, it's volatile. It's a financial hurricane tearing through the old guard. Every dip? That's weak hands getting shaken out, whales accumulating, and the network stress testing itself for the long haul. The dollar looks stable because the government can print more whenever the house of cards wobbles. Bitcoin can't cheat like that. Its volatility is the price of real scarcity and decentralization. And zoom out. Despite every Bitcoin is dead headline since 2011, it's outperformed literally every other asset class over the past decade, even with the wild rides in 2025, where gold stole the spotlight for a bit. Volatility is the tuition you pay for generational wealth. The 95% see scary red candles, the 5% see discount shopping days. But wait, there's more. Misconception 3 is a doozy, and it's why so many holders get absolutely wrecked. Bitcoin is too late. I missed the boat. Oh man, if I had a sat for every time I heard this. Listen, if you think Bitcoin is too late because you didn't buy at $100, you're thinking like a day trader, not a revolutionary. Let me put this in perspective. Only about 1.3% of the global population owns Bitcoin right now. We're talking about a technology that could become the global reserve asset, the backbone of a new financial system, and the escape hatch from collapsing fiat currencies. And we're still in the early innings. You think the internet was too late in 1995 because some nerds bought domain names in 1991? The 95% think in price tags. The 5% think in adoption curves and paradigm shifts. When central banks are scrambling to create digital currencies, when trillion-dollar institutions are adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets, when countries like El Salvador have made it legal tender, and even states like Texas are launching their own Bitcoin reserves, you're not late. You're early to the party that most people don't even know exists yet. And here's where it gets juicy. Misconception 4 is the one that'll separate you from the herd forever. My Bitcoin on an exchange is just as good as Bitcoin in my wallet. Woof. This one hurts because it's how people get absolutely rinsed. If you're nodding along thinking about your own setup, what's one thing holding you back from full self-custody? Share in the comments. Here's the brutal truth. If your Bitcoin is sitting on Coinbase, Binance, or any exchange, you don't own Bitcoin. You own an IOU. You own a promise from a company that maybe, if they don't get hacked, go bankrupt, or get seized by regulators, they'll give you your Bitcoin when you ask nicely. Remember FTX? Remember Mt. Gox? Yeah. Not your keys, not your coins, isn't just a cute slogan. It's the only rule that matters. Self-custody is the entire point of Bitcoin. It's the difference between being a sovereign individual and being another sucker trusting Wall Street 2.0. Get a hardware wallet, learn the basics, and take control. Otherwise, you're just playing pretend. Now here's the final truth that'll blow your mind and make everything click. Bitcoin is about getting rich quick. No, no, no. Bitcoin is about freedom. The 95% are chasing Lambos and moon memes. The 5% are building lifeboats. Sure, the price appreciation is insane, but that's a symptom, not the disease. The real power of Bitcoin is opting out of a system where your savings get inflated away, where banks can freeze your account on a whim, where governments can devalue your life's work with a keystroke. Bitcoin is permissionless, censorship-resistant, and absolutely scarce. It's the hardest money humanity has ever created, and it's the first time in history regular people can store wealth in something that can't be manipulated, confiscated, or destroyed. That's not a get-rich-quick scheme. That's a get-free scheme. And once you understand that, the price becomes almost irrelevant. You're not just investing, you're declaring independence. So there it is, the truth 95% of Bitcoin holders completely miss. They see a volatile asset, a speculation, a gamble. The 5% see a revolution, a life raft, and the future of money. Which side are you on? Smash that. Like, if you're ready to join the 5%, subscribe for more Bitcoin firepower that cuts through the BS. Hit the bell so you never miss a drop. Share this with your crypto crew who need a wake-up call. And let me know in the comments. What's your Bitcoin hot take? What misconception did you believe before the light bulb went off? Let's talk. See you in the next one. Stay free, stay sovereign, and stack those sats.